Alright guys, my apologies for the long drawn out 3 video series here. It's probably too boring to watch, but if you kept up with me this far, thanks for watching. Sorry to put you through that. But so today we're going to reveal how we do the final post-processing. So we're going to produce this image. My name's John Robinson, the Astrotard, and you've tuned into the Deep Sky channel. Now we're going to do something really cool here. We're going to apply this mask, this loom, to our Hubble, to this guy right here. And we're going to use a little script to do that. So I'm going to combine this loom with that Hubble. This is a black and white, that's a color. So script multi LRVB AIP. This is an add-in, a third-party plug-in for a script that you can add to PixInsight, multi-channel synthesis. So you go to the loom and then you go to the Hubble and you click OK. I'll come back when that's done. Okay, and here is the result. So this will be our working file going forward. So we applied this loom to that Hubble and we produced this image. And you can see we started with this fuzzy looking thing here. Now we're ending up with this thing here. Much crisper, much clearer. We're getting closer to our target, right? Let's keep playing with it and get there. So we can minimize U, and we're going to call this now the L Hubble. Okay. So using my loom here, I'm going to create a duplicate. I'm going to call that duplicate Nebula, or just Neb. And I'm going to use this thing Star Remover. Now, Star Remover is another third-party plugin that it's available under StarNet. You can research and find that guy and install that to PixInsight. And what this guy will do is remove all the stars. Okay, it helps if you have a beefy laptop. That last step takes a good 5 minutes or so to process, but you can see the effect here. It's removed all the stars nice and cleanly and left you with the nebula. The other thing you can do, which is a cool trick, is invert the loom. And a little pixel math magic here on the RGB. Take the loom, add it to the nebula that you created, and that produces an inverted star. That's what that does. Oh, if it's capitalized, maybe that would help. So this will create an inverted star. Let's close that. Invert this, and you have a star mask. Look at that. Let's call that stars. A very clean star mask, I'll say, as well. Let's take this guy back. Okay, so we've got our loom, we've got our nebula, and we've got our stars. Now, what we're going to do with this image using these masks is really tweak that color. So I'm going to come in here, and by the way, you need to change this from an RGB to a grayscale because it comes from an RGB from Pixel Math. But this one I think is a grayscale. Let's just check that image. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to take the L Hubble and I'm going to apply this Neb mask to it. And I'm really now going to focus on curve transformations. And let's do that with a preview on there. So we can zoom in to the nebula. So with the mask applied, I'm not focused on the background. I'm looking at the nebula itself. And I really want to tweak those colors. So looking at our reference image here, I really want to bring out some more aquamarine colors, looks like. Let's play with that a bit. So the way I would do that is start with the saturation channel and move that up. You can see the effect that that's having. It's already pulling out the reds and the blues. That's already looking really nice. I like that. You could also adjust, I think that's HSV, that's what that stands for. But I'm not really pleased with what that does sometimes. You got to be real careful with this one. It's very sensitive. You can do it on a dark or on the highs. I think I'm just going to leave it alone as is. It's pretty good. You can adjust the C in here. This will just tweak the colors slightly. Going back down, back to an up. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I like the saturation, how that's looking there. The dust is sort of a copper, and the nebula is sort of a aquamarine. And then you've got this menacing gray. I like that. It's looking good. So with those colors, I'm going to apply that now to the main Hubble right there. Then I'm going to invert this mask. I'm protecting the nebula now, focusing on the background. This will also affect the stars, so I'll fix that later. But what I want to do with the background here is just pull it down slightly so it's not so bright back there. You could push it up if you want, but I'm going to pull it down slightly. Okay. And I think that's a little bit too much red. If I look at our reference image here, yeah, I'm going to tone down the red slightly. So I'm going to come in here, invert the mask again. Let's just look at the red this time. Pull that down a little bit. Yeah, I like that. That's looking good. Okay, now let's fix our stars. A couple of tricks on stars here. So get rid of that mask. So I learned this trick from Dylan O'Donnell. That's a pretty cool trick. He's a YouTuber from Australia. If you invert this thing, and you grab your SCNR on green and apply that to the invert, close that, invert it back, that has the effect of taking the purple out of your stars. Those stars are pretty good, actually. I may not need to star mask them. They look pretty good to me. And I don't see a lot of pinks or unusual colors. Yeah, I like those stars. Those are pretty good. So the last thing I'm going to do is back to my loom, which includes the stars. Put that mask back on, focused on the nebula, put a preview on there, zoom in. Now I'm going to do a local histogram equalization on the nebula, especially the pillars. This is the before and after, before and after. Let's tone that down a bit. Before and after. It just brings out a little bit of contrast, which I like. It shows the pillars a little better. I like that. So let's go ahead and apply that to our Hubble. And I think that's about it. We're close to done here. Let's check our reference image to see how things are looking when this is done. And let's see, we'll close the preview, remove the mask, and zoom in there a bit. Make it a bit bigger. Look at our reference. Yeah, I'm liking that. That's pretty close. Some subtle differences here, but I think we did a better job of darkening it up here than we did over on this side. I really like the copper and the aquamarine here, and I like the menacing gray charcoal clouds. Really nice. I like it. So we can crop and produce that same one if you like. Let's duplicate this guy. Call him Eagle 2. And let's apply a star line. We'll align Eagle 2 to the Eagle so that they are rotated the same. And we'll look at them side by side. If he can find a star. There he goes. Okay. Close that guy. Close that guy. You're Eagle 2 now. Okay. Let's look at these side by side. Maybe a little bit bigger. Well, that's it. Now you've seen my tips and tricks. Obviously, if you don't like the color, you don't like the contrast, you know how to change it. You can change the colors by using the curve trans, or you can also do a photo cal. I don't like the photo cal. I like to choose my own colors. You can play and adjust to your heart's content, but the key ways to get the detail here are the curve transformation, the unsharp mask, the multi-scale transformation on the background to reduce the noise, and all these have to be done with a very good mask. You really need to have a solid loom mask and a nebula mask and maybe a star mask. That's how I do it. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope it was helpful. Okay, that's it, guys. Thanks for hanging on with me on this marathon journey. Hopefully I taught you a few things. I'm by no means an expert. I'm still learning this cool hobby. If you have any tips for me, I'd be glad to hear about it. You can put those in the comments below. If you like what you see and you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button and we'll do more fun videos in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye.